Hi, I'm Rick.
Hi, I'm Oscar.
So, Oscar, last time we talked about Cosmos DB and you have some extra stuff you want to show us.
Let's talk some more. I wanted to talk about Azure Functions, which we all love.
Yes,
of course.
serverless.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, we talked about the Cosmos DB setup.
Yep.
If you want to see that, look at the previous video because we go a bit deeper in what, how, what is it.
Yes.
For this one, just looking at Azure Functions actually, and what makes Azure Functions that great is the triggers and the bindings.
Yeah, because those abstract away the resources you talk to and they make it so much easier to actually
Focus
start writing
on the problem you're actually
added
trying to
value.
solve.
Yeah, business value.
So, jump straight into Visual Studio. I have an example here, Azure Function solution, like you would know. What I did is create, you also saw that in the previous video, is another person class. And I created two things actually. I created just a binding, it's an HTTP function. So if you look at this, it was a bit long, so I wrapped it. First trigger is just the get for the HTTP call.
That's the request.
So this is normal HTTP. If I F5 it, I get the route called create person. You get it and it goes into this function. What I used here is the Cosmos DB attribute to create a binding, the async collector.
Yep.
So if you don't know, the async collector is used for a lot of bindings. Also, you have them for instance,
Service bus.
Yep. It's amazing. It's a really abstract collection where you just push stuff in.
Yeah, and if you add async it, then it automatically does stuff in the binding machine.
Yeah, it will do that for you. So I created it for the type person. It's called a collector, it's async collector. And this is actually the binding doing the translation for.
So this is an output binding.
This is an output binding indeed. Yeah. So I wanted to start there because how do you start a trigger without a thing? We'll see it later. So starting with the output binding, saying to the collector, in this case, well, add a new person. I'm doing everything in line, creating a new ID, and just continue. What has the description? It has, or the attribute here, it needs the database name.
Of course.
It's called AFDB, because something with Azure Functions. It has the name of the Cosmos DB connection. It's in your settings. And it says the collection name, because remember, you have a database, and in the database you have a collection.
Container. Yeah,
it says connection name here.
Yeah, it was changed recently, right?
This thing is around for a while because it is indeed the container, but it's still called collection name here in the params. So that's it. So it pushes it in there. The other that I made, because it's nice to demo both in one go, is a trigger function. This trigger function is just an Azure function, normal one, has a database name, collection name, which is the container name, connection string name, and then it has something interesting called lease collection. The lease collection points to another container, another collection. In this case, creates it itself because I say, well, create it if it not exist, makes it easier. Because it needs to do some magic to see if you actually want to trigger something. So you see that also if you do a trigger on table storage, for instance, there's a lot of metadata being written where this thing listens to.
Yes.
It will see like when is the last time I checked, because it's not, you don't get a push event just like that from Cosmos. But in this case, by using this lease collection and some magic they built for us, I will get an input, and the input is of type document by default, and then we can read it. For instance, you see I check the input if it's not null, just in case, because I was playing around with this and exploded a few times, so please protect me a bit. But if there's input and like there's more than one, then you can get the ID of it. The ID is default on the type resource, which is the base type for a document. But you can also just string it, for instance, and there's JSON there, so you get the full thing. So this is a really simple way to recreate the person object.
So will this trigger be triggered for each type of API that you put in front of your Cosmos DB? So is this from the data from the core level?
This is the I created for this one created the SQL endpoint.
Yeah.
So it's a normal.
Yeah, but if we do table storage endpoint, then we'll get this trigger again, but then with the table storage.
I didn't try that. I must say, to be honest.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm gonna find it out. I'm gonna answer you later. You cannot know everything, right?
True.
I think by the name document, I assumed it was only for the SQL endpoint, but let's see that. So I'm gonna start this up now. First of all, this is the portal.
Yep.
So you have all the setup for your account here, and if you look at it, this was the AFDB. So this is a database within the account, and you see the list is there. I already ran it, so it was there. Otherwise, it would do that on the fly. Well, this is starting, giving me the endpoint, the Azure function. This is just the persons. You can explore it. I'm using the Data Explorer. There are a couple of items in there. If I click it, I see the full body of it.
Cool.
So what did we get? We got the endpoint from here. So it's this thing. Just copy it. Let's put some breakpoints in because that's nice. This is the trigger, and the other one was the binding function. So we're going to call this one first, the binding function.
Yep.
And try to hit the breakpoint. So
there we go.
There we go. We go into the Visual Studio, and I got the collector here. It's injected for us, and I'm actually I can just F5 it. I can continue it.
So if we go to the browser now, it probably says we have an OK result, right?
There.
Because this one is triggering right now.
We're actually seeing this trigger already running.
Yep.
But let's check first. We had 3, right? In persons, items. I do a refresh here.
Oh, yeah, we have an extra one.
So it's an extra one.
It worked.
That worked. Next to that, it actually is playing around a bit. It has 2 entries here for leases. This is all the magic. I don't even want to think about what they're doing. You can try to reverse engineer it, but just you see.
I am accepting this.
Yeah, for now, accept it. There's timestamps in there. Like I can imagine what's happening
and a continuation token, and
yes, stuff like that. But now you see that the trigger that just got triggered. We have input, so it's not null. There's a count of 1 on it. If we can explore it a bit, the item, and you see it's there. So there's a lot of stuff in there, but if I can just continue it, and let's all the way log it to there. Just continue it. You see we actually had the person that we put in there. It's just
cool.
Given to us. So also in the output, you see our ID there, and if I do a step there, you see output person's name is John Doe. So this is triggers and bindings without too much work. You just create an entity, or you use the entity that you have right there, and you can respond on something coming in. Yep. And if you want to write to Cosmos DB, you can just push it onto the async collector.
That's
like
so
we're
awesome.
used to.
And I'm not really sure if they implemented this for the Cosmos DB as well, but they also have an input binding where you say, I would like to have an iQueryable of this type.
Yeah.
Is that also available for Cosmos DB?
I haven't checked that one yet. I put 2 in for now, but I'm definitely gonna look into that, because that's really handy tool to have.
Yes.
With all you don't have to. It's almost invisible that you're dealing with.
It's
Cosmos.
Magic.
Oh, magic.
Well, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
See you next time. Bye bye.